Welcome everyone. Today we are going to be playing Arkham Horror, the card game, the first chapter in the core set. So I have the game set up already, which if you're looking at a video on how to do that, you can check back to the setup video that I have posted previous to this video. So today we're going to be playing, so it's the campaign Night of the Zealot. Zealot or Zealot? I'm not quite sure. Zealot. I think it's Zealot. And we're going to be doing part 1, The Gathering. So if you have not played Arkham Horror before, I do recommend that you do your playthrough first, and then you can come and check back on how I did, because there will be spoilers. Otherwise, I hope that you have fun. I hope I don't die. I am playing on the hard difficulty, which is I want a true nightmare, so we'll see what happens. All right, so I'm going to read the beginning, and then we're going to get started. So, part 1, The Gathering. You and your partners have been investigating strange events taking place in your home city of Arkham, Massachusetts. Over the past few weeks, several townspeople have mysteriously gone missing. Recently, their corpses turned up in the woods, savaged and half-eaten. The police and newspapers have stated that wild animals are responsible, but you believe there is something else going on. You are gathered together at the lead investigator's home to discuss these bizarre events. So I myself am playing solo. So I have everything sort of laid out, including on the right here is going to be what is essentially in my hand, and then on the left is going to be the cards that I have played. If you're playing with other players, you will actually keep the cards in your hand private, and they will obviously be in your hand. But for the purposes of this video, I have them laid out so that you can see more clearly what I have and what my options are and what I decide to choose. Yeah, so also, obviously I'm solo, so I am the lead investigator. I'm the only investigator. So I have my rule book, the rules reference, the learn to play, everything right next to me. So I may be checking back on how certain things play out. I'm not the most familiar with the game, so bear with me. You can always skip some of the parts where I might be reading some rules. But for now, because it's the very beginning of the game, we actually skip the mythos phase and we go straight to the investigation phase. So, first things first, I'm in the study, and because we start play here, I get to flip over the study card. So, in the study, it says, you've been investigating the strange events occurring in Arkham for several days now. Your desk is covered in newspaper articles, police reports, and witness accounts. All right, so I get to flip it over without having to do anything. Oh, and now, okay, so we have to put down clue tokens. So in white, it's 2 clues per investigator. So obviously that is just 2 clues for me then. All right, so it says the study location. The door to your study has vanished. Oh my gosh. All right, so let's read the agenda and the act information, because I think that is somewhat important. So the act information is what I am trying to progress along the game. Okay, Act 1, Trapped. As you leap to investigate, the door to your study vanishes before your eyes, leaving behind only solid wall. You're trapped inside your study until you can find another way out. So I have to get 2 clue tokens before I can progress to the next act. All right, and then the agenda, which is the mythos and the horror and all of that stuff. Oh no! Okay, so this is what Agenda 1A says. What's going on? It is late at night. You are holed up in your study, researching the bloody disappearances that have been taking place in the region. A few hours into your research, you hear the sound of strange chanting coming from your parlor down the hall. At the same time, you hear dirt churning as if something were digging beneath the floor. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we have to figure out how to get out of the study, and then apparently we have to track down the parlor, see what's happening there, because there's apparently chanting, and sounds like something is digging beneath the floor. That does not sound like it's a good thing. And the little number on here says 3. So once we have 3 doom tokens on here, this gets progressed to the next one. All right. So, if you did not check the setup, then you may not know. I'm playing Schizo Tool today, and I followed the starter deck that is listed in the little booklet in terms of what to play or use for my deck. So we'll see how this goes, but I like him. From what I was looking at the cards, seems to be heavy on using resources to do different things, running away and fighting. So it seems like it's a little good mix of everything. Okay, so I get to take 3 actions. So at this point, I want to put some assets into play. Obviously, I'm going to investigate to get the clues that I need to progress, but I want to have things in play, and I drew a really nice starting hand actually. 4 of them are assets and 1 of them is an event. So I think I'm definitely going to try and put a bunch of them into play. Now it cost me resources to put them into play. So for action number 1, I'm going to spend 2 of my resources, which are these little guys. Angle of the camera, right? And I'm going to put, let's do, what am I short on? Okay, so I have 2 willpower, 3, what is the book? I think it's, of course it's the 3rd book that I look at. Okay, yeah, so I have 2 willpower, 3 intellect, 3 attack, combat, and 4 agility. Okay, so I'm super agile as an ex-con. I guess I'm super sneaky, and I'm pretty good at intellect and attacking, but my intellect is, no, sorry, my willpower is not the greatest, which makes sense. I mean, you know, I see things and I like to steal them, so okay, so let's, Hard Knocks improves attack and agility, and then physical training improves intellect. Okay, so let's do this one. It improves no, sorry, I'm gonna keep getting this mixed up. It improves willpower and attack. So let's do physical training first. So we'll put that. Now it does not have a slot location, so that's perfect. So I don't have to worry about that, or having limited spaces for that. So that's perfect. And I think, so to investigate, that requires me to do, all right, so fancy card tells you everything that you can do on your action. So to investigate my location, I have to meet the shroud value, which is 2. So I have to do an actual skill test for that. So right, what do you, to do the skill test, does it matter which one you get or which one you do? I want to say that it's one particular skill they have to do. Okay. To investigate, you have to make an intellect. Okay, so intellect is what I have 3 for against the shroud value of that location. Okay, so let's, I only have 3, but I have to meet 2. And I know that the chaos bag isn't that great. So, I don't know if I want to, okay, I don't know if I want to do that right away. Now, I do have burglary. I could use it as committing it instead of playing it, which would get me an extra point. So I think I'm going to do that. And unfortunately, physical training and Hard Knocks, neither of them get me where I need to be. Okay, so let's do this. Let's investigate for 1 clue and see what we can do. So I'm going to commit burglary, which has the right skill that I can add to it. And I start with 3 already. So that gets me to 4. And is there anything else that I can do? Nothing else can get me, unfortunately, anymore. Okay, let's do it. Let's see if luck is with me. This may be horrible. I may die really, really soon. Okay. So I'm mixing, choosing something random. Oh, please be good, or at least not too bad. Oh, shit. It is -5. So I had 4, which is clearly not enough. Okay, so if I lose, okay, so now we go back to this card, which tells us what happens. So, oh, this is if you get something, pull one of the special ones. Okay, so we don't worry about that. However, I feel like, does anything happen if you lose? This is a good question. So I definitely lost by 1. I was at 4 and I pulled the -5. So if it's successful, then you get the clue. If the test failed, no clues are discovered. Okay, so nothing bad happens. Okay, that's good to know. So I'm going to be, unfortunately, with this cute little bag that I have, it also tends to drop little yellow threads on me. So you may see me like picking at things every once in a while, probably because something fell on me. Okay, so that's unfortunate. So this gets discarded, which I'm going to have my discard pile. It's probably out of the screen or out of the shot of the camera, but it's next to my deck there. Okay, so that was kind of a bummer. I think I'm going to skip investigating again. I'm going to pay another 2 resources for action number 3 and put Hard Knocks into play as well. So that is also an asset, doesn't take up a slot, which is really, really nice. And I get to, it doesn't cost an action to activate it. So I can use, basically each of them get me things that I can add to skill tests, which is nice. And it's not going to get discarded or anything like burglary just did after this skill test is done. Okay, so these stay in my hand. Wonderful. Now I could, as a criminal, I can choose to spend 2 resources to get an additional action. I can do that once per turn. I don't have enough resources. I only have 4 at this point. So I'm going to stop there. Unfortunately, nothing much happened with me, so let's move on. Okay, so the investigation phase is over. Next is the enemy phase. So there currently aren't any enemies on the board, so nothing's going to happen there. And next is the upkeep phase. So reset the action, so flip the mini cards. I'm supposed to flip this to the black and white version when I'm done my turn, but as I'm the only solo player, I mean, I could try and remember to do that in between phases, but okay, moving on. So upkeep phase. So reset the action. So reflip the mini cards and anything else that's been exhausted. You can ready those. Each investigator draws 1 card and gains 1 resource. Okay, so I'm going to draw my next card, which is a switchblade. What's nice about the switchblade, it's a heck of a lot cheaper than, I have the 49.45 automatic in my hand, but it's really expensive. It's for resources. I guess probably would have been good to have done that on the first round, but that's okay. All good. The switchblade is a bit cheaper. It only costs 1, and it's fast, which is nice. Okay, so let's move on. So I also get a resource, so that's fine. Perfect. I have 2, and each investigator checks hand size, discard down to 8. Well, I'm nowhere near that, so that's okay. Mythos phase, here we go. Place one doom on the agenda. Oh no, this is bad. This is really bad. Okay, so one doom is on the agenda. Advance the agenda if the doom threshold is satisfied. It's not. Each investigator draws one card from the top of the encounter deck. All right. Treachery, ancient evils. It's an omen. Revelation. Place one doom, oh no, on the current agenda. The effect can cause the current agenda to advance. Okay, but it doesn't because we're not there yet. But I guess if it was, then it would do it at this point, even though we've already passed that part. Okay, so we have to do another doom. This is bad. It's already 2. Okay, so this gets... Well, at least there's still nothing on the board to kill me, so that's really nice. All right, and then it starts back to me. So each investigator takes a turn performing 3 actions. Okay, so... I don't have... I think I'm going to be drawing cards for the most part. I mean, I could take 2 actions to gain 2 resources and then a 3rd action to put the 45 automatic into play. But that would be going another round to not investigate, which means that the agenda is going to progress. I mean, I'll be ready to fight things a little bit better, but I'm going to take a hit by being behind. I think I'm going to do that, though. I don't know if this is a horrible play or maybe it's a good one. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to be really prepared. So, okay, so I'm going to take action number 1, take a resource. Action number 2, take a resource. Action number 3, I'm going to pay the 4 resources to put my 45 automatic into play. It does take up a slot, so it's a one-handed slot, and it uses 4 ammo. So I'm actually going to take these 4 resources that I just used, and I'm going to put them on it. And then each time that I spend an ammo, I'll just put it back into the box, and then that way I can keep track. Okay, but this is good. I'm going to be stronger for when I do eventually fight. So if I die, it won't be because of monsters. Fingers crossed. I say that, but we'll see what actually happens. Okay, so my turn is done again. So we move on to, I guess the other question is, do I have any free actions? So I'm not doing any skill tests, which both of these use free actions, but only during skill tests. And this requires resources, which I don't have any more of. So, okay, so we move on. Then there is the enemy phase. No enemies on the board. So upkeep phase, reset. Okay, reset actions, ready all exhaust cards. We draw a card. Okay. And a resource. Perfect. So the one I pulled was Overpower. Perfect. It's a skill. And it gives me 2 to a fight, which is really, really nice. And I get to draw a card if I'm successful. So that's wonderful. Okay. Next, each investigator checks, discard it down to 8. We're good. So, mythos phase. Oh no! Place 1 doom on the agenda. Okay, I'm at 3 now. So, advance the agenda if the doom threshold is satisfied. Well, it is satisfied. This seems like it's going horribly. It's moving on, and we're only done turn 2. Okay, what's going on? All right, so this is progressed. Your house continues to change before your very eyes. The walls have decayed, and the ground in many rooms has turned to dirt. It's almost as if you have been transported somewhere else entirely, although every now and again you recognize elements of your former home. The lead investigator must decide. Either each investigator discards 1 card at random from his or her hand, or the lead investigator takes 2 horror. So Well, there's only me. So the question is, do I get rid of a card at random or do I gain 2 horror? Okay, so what does that mean? What will happen to me if I get horror, right? This is a question that I have. I know horror is bad, but I don't know why, right? Other than it sounds horrible. Right? Like, does it make you weaker? Or does it count as like negatives towards tests or something? Well, I don't really know what horror is gonna do. So I guess why don't we put horror on? Oh wait. Here we go. So I have my health. I have 8 health and 6 horror. So or not horror, sanity. So if I get 6 horror tokens, then basically I've gone insane and I lose. Right, so same as if I were to get 8 damage tokens, that would equal my health and I would die. Okay, so we do not want horror. So I think at the same time, I really, really want to, I only have 3 cards in play, or, in my hand, which is not very many to pick from. So, I also only have 6 sanity though, so horrors seem like, now that other characters looking quite good. She looked like she was a complicated character to play though. The one that is a witch. But she actually like uses horror to her advantage, which is kind of cool. Okay, well, I guess I will discard a card. Seems like it's a bad idea, but and we're just gonna do some random shuffling. So discard a card at random. I'm discarding the event card. All right, so I guess I just shuffle it back into my, or no, it goes into discard pile. Okay. All right, so that's a bummer, but I'm kind of happy it wasn't overpower. All right, so moving on, this we're gonna put into the discard pile and move on to agenda 2A. Rise of the ghouls. Oh no. The floor beneath you is giving way, and you see a vast network of tunnels twisting into the darkness below. Shapes and silhouettes of strange creatures move swiftly through the tunnels, trying to find a way up. You probably don't want to be here when they do. At least this one only requires 7 doom tokens, so that gives me a little bit more time. But it didn't place any new enemy or any enemies at all, so at least that. Okay, so now we go to, that was the mythos phase, so we go on to the investigation phase. I think before I do anything, I'm going to spend action number 1 to draw a card, because I really want something that's going to help me with investigating. Oh, it's a wild one. Okay, so it's a skill. It's opportunist. Commit only to a skill test you are performing, and it's as I said, wild, so I could do it with any. If you succeed by 3 or more, then I return it to my hand instead of discarding it. Okay, so perfect. I'm still a little bit worried. I don't really feel like that's enough. That still only gets me 1. At the same time, I really, really, really need these, but the chaos deck is not in my favor. So I need to use my cards. Okay, I'm going to spend action number 2 and drawing another card. Okay, apparently my deck is, I'm going to flip them around. So I got an event. It doesn't cost anything. And it's an emergency cast. I gain 3 resources. That's wonderful. So let's see. So 1, 2, and 3. You can never be too prepared. All right, perfect. So I will put that away. So I have one more. Question is, do I want to just try and pull another card, or do I attempt it and potentially lose though? All right, we're gonna do it. We're gonna pull another card here. Pickpocketing. So it's an asset for agility. And it is a reflex. I know these have a name, right? I think it's a reflex. After you evade an enemy, exhaust pickpocketing and draw a card. Ooh, that's kind of nice. Oh, that's actually kind of tempting to put into play. Well, I can't this turn anyways. That was my third. So that was my third action. So we're moving on. No enemies still. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Oh, shoot. Okay, I forgot to draw a card from the encounter deck. Okay, so let's do that. Hopefully I didn't mess things up too much. Okay, treachery. Oh, that's horrible. It's an obscuring fog. Oh, okay. So I attach it to your location, and the location gets +2 shrouds. Now I have to beat 4. I have to beat 4. Forced. After attached location is successfully investigated, then I can obscure the fog. Oh, that is horrible. Okay, I'm going to put it under my person so that I don't forget. Okay, the question is, would I have done anything differently? So no, if anything, I would have kept on doing what my plan is, because now that I have to beat 4, I definitely need cards to help me out. I feel like I'm going to be pulling cards for a number of turns. Okay, so my investigation phase, I would have kept on doing what I was doing. And the enemy phase, there are still no enemies. Upkeep phase, so reset actions, ready all exhausted cards. Each investigator draws a card and a resource. All right, so let's draw one more. It's first aid. Really, there is no, no intellect, eh? This is very, very unfortunate. Okay, so, oh, and I need to grab a resource token. And I have to discard down to 8. We're okay. We're at 5. Nothing that I really want. And then onto the mythos phase. So place 1 doom token on the agenda. Advance the agenda if the doom threshold is satisfied. Each investigator draws a card from the top of the encounter deck. All right. Treachery, grasping hands, revelation, test 3 agility. For each point you fail by, take 1 damage. Oh no, they're really coming out of the floor now, aren't they? I can even see like the hands as they're coming out. That's terrifying. Okay. Decaying hands rise up from below and grasp and claw at your ankles. Ugh. Okay, so we have to take care of this. So I have to do a test for 3 agility. So I am going to use my free actions, which don't cost me anything. And I'm gonna do hard knocks gets me. I have to spend a resource, and I get +1. So I'm gonna turn it that way to indicate that I've used it. I don't know if you have to do that though, if you're right, because you can use it without necessarily, the cost is the resource. So you're not necessarily, I guess maybe what I'll do is I'll put it up top, and then that way I remember that I'm using it, and then I can put it back down. I don't think it gets exhausted though, right? So it doesn't seem like it, all right, and then I can use, I can commit the switchblade as well. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to commit the switchblade. So that gets me +2, and I'm at 6 already. Oh, sorry, I'm at 4 already. So that gets me to 6. And I have to do test 3. So, oh, should I commit something else as well? Oh, this is so horrible. Why did I choose the hard level? I totally should have gone standard. Should I do pickpocket as well? It seems like such a doo-doo. It seems like I have to meet 3 though. So what did we say? I'm at 6. So let's work this out. If I'm at 6, I can't get a negative. No, I have to equal it. So if I get a -3, I'll be fine. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. There are 17 tokens in there, of which 9 will help me fail. Or sorry, will help me win. So just over half. That's not that great. Okay, I'm going to commit pickpocketing as well. I mean, there goes my hand that I just spent last turn trying to build up. Okay, but that at least puts me at 7. All right, so fingers crossed. Hey, all right, perfect. So that was a 0. So I win that one. So Hard Knocks goes back there. These 2 get discarded. Really, really unfortunate. I don't take any damage, which is nice. This goes into the discard pile. And now it's my turn again. So I'm going to draw another card. I really, really need to be able to be successful. I have to have 4, right? Oh no, I pulled hospital debts. Which is put hospital debts into play in your threat area. Twice per round, I can move 1 resource from my resource pool to hospital debts. When the game ends, if I have fewer than 6 resources on it, I earn 2 fewer experience at the end of the scenario. So that one's not ideal. Okay, so that was... It doesn't cost me anything to be able to do those though, which is nice. So that was action number 1. Okay, action number 2, I'm going to draw again. Hey, finally. Okay, this one is going to be helpful. So it's a flashlight. Oh, wait, hold on. I can, if I put this one into play, it would cost me 2 resources, and I could then spend 1 supply. It has a total of 3 uses. I could spend 1 supply to investigate, and the location gets -2 for that investigation. So basically, it would bring it back down to the normal amount. I think that's a good idea. So I'm going to pay 2 for that. And then I'm going to put 3 back on there to remind us that we have 3 uses of it. So the question is, should I just try it? Should I just try doing the investigate again? I mean, maybe I'll get lucky, right? And at least get 1 clue token. I have 1 more action left. So let's do it. We may lose opportunist, unfortunately, but so I'm going to spend the 1 use of the flashlight to investigate, and this is my 3rd action. But my location gets -2, so I only have to beat 2. I have to beat 2. I have 3. Right? Make sure we're doing the right. Yes. Investigation is the intellect one. Okay. So I have 3 intellect. I have to beat 2. So I'm at +1 currently. And I'm going to commit opportunist. And let's see what happens. Oh no. So I'm at +2 right now. So as long as I get a -2 or lower. I pulled a -5 again. Damn it. That is not how it was supposed to go. All right, so opportunist gets discarded, unfortunately, because I did not succeed. And that was my third action. So moving on. Still no enemies, so we're okay. Upkeep phase, resets actions, reset exhausted cards. Investigator draws 1 card and gains 1 resource. All right, what do we have? 41 Derringer. Well, I mean, when I start fighting things, at least I'll get, you know, can I get things from beating them? Because that would be nice. Okay, I do not have to draw down or discard down. Mythos phase, place 1 doom. Okay, this is okay. We still have 5 more. 5 more turns before that gets moved on. Advance the agenda if the doom threshold is satisfied. Each investigator draws 1 from the encounter deck. Okay. All right, we have, I think this is upside down as well? No, that's good now. Ravenous Ghoul. Hey, we have a monster now. It's a humanoid monster and a ghoul. It has health of 3. It has 3 attack power and 3 agility. Prey. Lowest remaining health. It doesn't really matter because I'm playing solo. And yeah. Okay, let's do this. So it goes into the study as well, right? It's basically come up from the ground and is now attacking me. Or will be attacking me. So, okay, so that was that. Then investigation phase. So I have my 3 actions. Now, something I remember is to double check is opportunity of attack. So I am not engaged with the monster, so it can't take an opportunity of attack. But as soon as we move on to the enemy phase, or wait, does it become engaged because it's right in my area? No, because you can use your action to engage, right? Or evade. But you would evade something that you're engaged with. So my question is, does it become automatically engaged because I'm in the area, or does that happen separately? You know what? I want to attack this guy anyways. I have so much going for me. So I'm going to engage and attack this guy. Let's do it. Okay, so we're going to put him here into our little area. And he has 3 health. So I have to make a combat test against the enemy's fight value. Okay. And if the attack succeeds, I deal 1 damage. Now, after I attack, would it become exhausted? Right? Let's say that it's successful and it succeeds. If the bottom of the enemy's text box indicates that it provides victory points, place the card in the shared. Oh, does this give me victory points? Where do I see victory points? I don't think it does. It says the bottom of the text box. I don't think so. So I guess what my question is that if I engage it, then I won't be able to do any of my other actions, right? Versus if I'm not, I would have to evade first, and which is not what I want to do. Okay, but what happens when you put a monster on the board into your location? Does it get engaged immediately? I feel like I've read this and I just don't remember. All right. I'm going to sit and read for a little bit, so I'll probably speed up the video for this portion, unless I find it very, very fast. Okay, so under enemy engagement, it says that a ready unengaged enemy immediately engages if it spawns at the same location as an investigator. Okay, so it engages me. So no matter what, we're gonna fight, or evade. So I think we're gonna fight because we have the 45 automatic and the other cards to help with that. So I have to beat 3, and I start with 3. So at that point we're already even, but we have to keep in mind the chaos bag. So I'm going to spend 1 resource token to use my 45 automatic and spend 1 ammo to fight, and I get +1 to attack, and it also deals an additional damage, so that's perfect. I'm also going to do both hard knocks, which costs me a resource, and physical training, and so I'm going to spend 2 resources, which basically get me, in total, it'll be an additional +2 for the test. So I have +3 for the test, in addition to my 3 already. So I have 6 that I'm starting with. And let's see. -2. All right, so that brings me to 4. So I win that one. Hey, wonderful. So this, I paid a lot out for that though. So it gets 2 damage because of my weapon. I got to do an additional damage. So I'm going to fight it again. Action number 2. Right? Because we don't want to not kill it, or else it's going to be able to do an opportunity of attack on us. Which the opportunity of attack, I mean, is it a bad thing to do that? Probably. So basically, if I were to do that, the enemy would attack me. And when the enemy attacks, deal both its damage and its horror simultaneously. So that would be 1 health and 1 damage and 1 horror. So let's not let it get an opportunity of attack, and let's kill it. Unfortunately, I wish I was getting points for it though. Okay, so I'm not going to use the 45 automatic again, but I will. I have 1, oh gosh, I have 1 token remaining, or resource remaining. So I will use one of them. Oh, you know what? Hold on, I have overpower. Let's do that. Oh, this is good, this is good. And I also could use the 41 Derringer. Okay, screw that. I'm going to keep my resource, and I'm going to play overpower and the Derringer, because I don't think I'm going to put the Derringer in my hand just yet. Or maybe I should. It would give me plus, because I can have 2, well, I technically have a slot already. Okay, so I'm going to play it as a commit it. So I'm getting +3 to my 6. Sorry, +3 to my 3. So let's, hopefully, I'm really hoping I will pull the Elder Sign and gain 2 resources in addition to winning. That would be wonderful. Nope, I did not. Okay, so I gained this looking thing. Which means -4. Oh no. That means I lost. And if there is a ghoul enemy at your location, take 1 damage and 1 horror. No, this is so bad. So I was at 6. I get -4, so now I'm at 2, which is not enough to beat 3. That sucks. So I take 1 damage and 1 horror. Put this on my guy. I don't beat him. These get discarded. Oh no, what do I do? What do I do? And there's no way for me to... Okay, I'm gonna attack again. I'm gonna attack again, and I'm going to spend a resource token and use Hard Knocks for okay. So I am spending 1 resource token. I'm fighting the Ravenous Ghoul still. So I'm gonna spend the 1 resource token and get the Hard Knocks or Physical Training, whichever one, for the +1. So I'm at +4, and I'm really hoping that I don't have something that hurts me again, because that was really unfortunate. I mean, I could have just let it got an opportunity of attack at that point and had something convenient happen. All right, so what do we got? We have -1. Okay, perfect. So, and some yellow strings. Wonderful. Okay, perfect. So, that brings us to, so -1. I was at 4, so that brings us to 3, and I needed 3 to beat him, so that's wonderful. So we do 3. So he dies. Unfortunately, there is no... I'm assuming that the victory points will, or experience points will be kind of obvious, and I don't see that, so. The sight of the thing raised the question, do we eat to live, or do we live to eat? It's a Ravenous Ghoul. All right, Ravenous Ghoul is dealt with. Unfortunately, that was my entire turn, right? That was 3 turns. It took me three actions to kill it. All right, perfect, wonderful. Next is enemy phase. There's no enemies on the board. Upkeep phase. Reset actions. Flip any cards. Ready all exhausted cards. Draw a card. Yay! And get a token. Resource token. Discard down to 8. Mythos phase. Place 1 doom on the agenda. This is not going well. This is going to be a very horrible situation, isn't it? Draw the top card. All right, what do we have? Icy Ghoul. Damn it. I can't be... I'm gonna have to evade this time. Because I have to get stuff done. Okay, Icy Ghoul. It spawns in the cellar. Oh, okay. New question. What if I don't have the cellar out? What happens then? It says, oh, it does. It says victory 1. Okay, so that's what the victory points look like. Inside the tunnels beneath the house, a massive beast tears its way out of the ice. It is covered in a thick layer of frost, its breath visible in the bitter cold. Why is there ice beneath my house? What the heck's happening? Okay, so I'm going to look at the rulebook for a couple minutes and see what it says about spawning in a location that has not yet been revealed. Okay, here we go. So if an enemy has no legal location to spawn, for example, if its spawn instruction directs it to a specific location that is not in play, it does not spawn and it is discarded instead. Okay, so we discard it, which is kind of good because I was gonna have to evade it instead. So that kind of actually worked out, except for it would be nice to have had the victory points. Okay, so next is investigation phase. Okay, perfect. So we are back. This is still in effect. Yes, okay. This only gets discarded after we successfully investigate it. Okay. So first action I'm going to do, once again, is draw a card. Okay, so hopefully it is, okay, do I have no skills that have intellect? This is the question. Is this what it is? I just have no skills that have intellect? Right? Like the chances of me, I have 3, right? So I have to, even if I use my flashlight again and bring it down to 2, I'm basically only at a +1, which doesn't really give me very many options, and I can't commit anything else. So let's action number 2, draw again. An event. I get 3 resources again. 1, 2, 3. All right, I think I'm going to luck it out, see if we can make it happen. So clearly it's not happening via cards, committee cards. So let's use the flashlight again. So supply number 2. So my shroud is back down to 2. So I have to beat 2 and I have 3. I have nothing else that I can do. So hopefully I draw a 0 or a -1. And that I will still meet it at that point. Come on, something good, something good, something good. Not good at all. Okay, so luckily there's not a ghoul at the location anymore. So it counts as a -4. And it says if there is a ghoul enemy at your location, take 1 damage and 1 horror. Which there's not. So at least I don't get any more damage, but that did not work out as planned. Okay, so this is not going well at all for me. I should have gone standard and had chaos bag. That wasn't so horrible. It's a nightmare. Okay, so my investigation phase is over. I had drawn 2 cards, and I had tried my luck at investigating. I'm a horrible investigator. Okay, so next, upkeep phase, reset actions, ready exhausted cards, draw a card. Come on, please, something that's going to be helpful. Please, please, please. No. It's a knife. And I gain a resource. Draw down to 8. Mythos phase, place a doom. Advance it if it's met the threshold. All right, encounter deck. What do we have? Oh. It's a swarm of rats. Oh no. A horde of cruel rats skitters forth in an undulating wave of claws, teeth, and mottled fur. Wonderful. I have no idea how this doesn't cause horror is the question. It only causes damage. I'm pretty sure I'd be kind of horrified. Okay, so it engages automatically, as we have learned. Oh, I mustn't forget about my hospital debts. Okay, so this is a free action that I can do. This is a free, oh, and I mustn't forget that I have my, my criminal activity. I can also, so I will do, it says, okay, this sounds interesting. It says, move 1 resource from your resource pool to the hospital debt limit twice per round. Is a round like my turn? Or what is a round versus a turn? Is it the same? It's a round sequence. Round sequence. Okay. It says that on this card. It refers to it as a round. So I'm gonna do that because it doesn't actually cost me anything to do that. So let's put that there. I could do this event. So it would cost me, right? I could do the opportunities of attack happen each time? Oh, I guess that's the other point. Okay, so I technically wouldn't do this first because I don't want it to get an opportunity of attack. I think the opportunities of attack happen unless you do either the evade, right? So regardless, so it'll happen each time unless you do it. I think I'm just going to fight them. Screw the swarm of rats. I'm going to fight them. So they only have 1 health anyways. So I'm going to, I start with 3. I'm going to use 1 resource for my physical training to add 1. So I'm at 4 now. And the knife is actually kind of nice. You know what? I think I'm going to do guts. I'm going to commit guts. Oh no, shoot, guts is willpower. It's not attack. The knife would be nice to have in hand, and I feel like I'm going to try do another investigate. So I'm going to have my flashlight out of play in a second. So it would be kind of nice to maybe get the knife in. So I'm at 4 right now. The question is, do I risk just doing that? You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna commit the knife. So I'm at 5. 5 points. I only need 1, so I could have as much as a -3. No wait, 3. I said I'm at 5. I can have as much as a -4. All right, come on, something good, something good, something good. -4. All right, so I was at 3, 4, 5. -4, we have 1, and the creature is 1. So perfect. Okay, and he only has 1 health, so he is dead. I don't get any points for that, so. Okay, wonderful. So that's dealt with. So that was action number 1. So free action, putting something on my hospital debts. The question is, do I do a second one? It seems like such a huge cost, though. But at the same time, if I'm going to get any experience points at the end, I'd rather it not be. Okay, so I still have 2 turns left. I'm going to draw a card because, you know, that's worked for me in the past. And it is a guard dog. Ooh. It's an ally. So the guard dog, it says, when an enemy attack deals damage to guard dog, deal 1 damage to the attacking enemy. So it doesn't have much sanity, though, so all it's going to take is 1 attack, and it's basically going to die. Oh, poor puppy. But very nice of it to guard me. It could be useful to have. I guess the thing that I don't understand is why I would I guess I could evade, right? But if you evade, the enemy isn't going to attack you. So what are the circumstances at which an enemy is going to is going to deal attack damage. This is what I'm not seeing. I guess if you fight it and you lose still, right? Because if I evade it, then it's going to be exhausted and it's not going to get to fight. So I'm not quite sure what the circumstances, but if I don't fight it and I do other actions, it gets an opportunity of attack and deals straight damage to me, right? So I'm not going to let that happen. So I'm not entirely sure what circumstance I'm going to not fight it or evade it, one or the other, right? Okay, I still have one more action left. So I think I'm going to draw another card. I really, really need something to help me. I only have +3, and I have to get 2. And I've been drawing really badly from the Chaos deck, so. Hey, here we go. Sneak attack. I can use this to commit. Intellect, 1 intellect. It could also, if you use it as an event, deal 2 damage to an exhausted enemy at your location. That's kind of nice as well, but I don't think, can you play events? I guess you can only play events when they make sense. Okay. So I'm going to use my special criminal ability, and during your turn, spend 2 resources. You may take an additional action this turn. So kind of expensive. I don't really have very much left. And I'm going to use my flashlight. This is going to be the last one. To bring -2 down on the shroud. I really, really, really wish I didn't get the stupid obscuring fog. I could have had the steady down to 0 with the flashlight. Okay, so I'm using the flashlight. I'm going to commit the sneak attack card for the extra intellect. So at this point, I have a whole of 4. So all I have to do is draw a -2 or less. Or I guess, is it more? More. A -2, a -1, or a 0 is what I need to pull. Nope. It's a -3. I'm apparently having a lot of trouble getting out of my library. It is stumping me that the door has disappeared. I don't know what to do. I'm going to just take this extra resource and put it on my hospital debts. Pay down some debts. Why not? May as well use the time that I have in the library to phone my bank and pay off some debts before I die. Because apparently that's what I care about. It's because I have that much confidence that I'm going to make it through. Okay, so this gets discarded, and this gets discarded, and we move on. No enemies. Upkeep phase. Yep. Reset. Reset ready. Draw a card. And it's a machete. Sweet. Oh, that's kind of cool. You would get +1 for the attack, and if the attacked enemy is the only enemy engaged with me, then you get an additional 1 damage. And it doesn't run out like the gun would, which is kind of nice. Assuming I don't get sort of swamped with enemies. And I get a resource. Okay, Mythos phase, Place of Doom on the agenda. We are now at 5. This is not good. And I draw. All right, what do we have? Frozen in Fear, Treachery, Revelation. Put Frozen in Fear into play in your threat area. The first time you perform one of the following actions, so move, fight, or evade, each round it costs 1 additional action. Oh no. At the end of your turn, test 3 willpower. If you succeed, discard Frozen in Fear. Okay. Okay. Well, at least it's not an enemy that I have to fight. So it is now my turn. I have my 3 actions. I kind of want this machete, I have to admit. I don't have enough resources for it, though. I really, really, really need... I need another flashlight. My shroud is now at 4. Oh my gosh, I have to get rid of that fog so badly. All right, so I'm drawing another card. Action number 1. On the lamb. Ooh. Oh, okay, this is potentially really good. It's fast. Play after your turn begins. Until the end of the round, non-elite enemies cannot attack me. And it also gives me 1 intellect, and there's 2 wilds. So if I'm reading that correct, that gives me 3. That's 3 intellect that I can put towards. So I'm at 6 now, and I need 4. So it's still... I'm going to draw again, action number 2. And I'm really, really hoping I'll get 1 more intellect to help me out, or flashlight. No! I don't think this is a very intellect-heavy deck. It's okay, it's okay. If I die, then I'll at least have learned how to play, and we'll do a better job next time. Or I'll have to make it easier. Because it's the chaos deck that's screwing me over right now. Well, that wasn't helpful. So the question is, do I want to save this card until I have a better chance of actually beating that, right? Because if I spend it now, that's 3, right? I'm technically still only 2 over, which is not great. Considering there are how many? We said I'm 3 over, right? Yes, that would put me... No, that would put me 2 over, right? Because I have to get 4 and I would have 6. So that would mean there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 out of 17. So basically it's a 50-50 chance of me... More than a 50% chance of me losing. Oh, I really don't want to push it though. Like pushing it is getting kind of difficult. But if I use it now and I lose, and that's a huge card that I've just wasted. All right, 3rd action, I'm going to draw again. Hey, it's a flashlight. Okay, perfect. This is wonderful. Okay, so for next round, I'll be able to put that into play, and we'll be in a much better position to get out of the frickin' study. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that is my turn. Oh. I'm going to actually say, I was going to put this on the hospital debts, but I'm going to say that because I want to be able to put flashlight into play. Okay, so moving on. Investigation phase is over. There are no enemies on the board. Upkeep phase, reset actions, reset already exhausted cards. Investigator draws a card. Oh, okay. So now I have another, finally, intellect card. It's an event. Hey, you can disengage from an enemy with and move to a revealed location with no enemies. Sweet. So I guess events you pay, and then they only come into play when you... Do you not... Are events like assets where you don't discard them after you play them? Am I reading that right? Right? You would pay the cost to put it into play, and then you would dodge. Oh, that's really good. For some reason I was thinking that you play them immediately. Like the event immediately. But it doesn't say anything about discarding them. All right, another rule check. I'm going to look up event cards and see what it says. Okay, I don't know if I'm reading this right. So it mentions that if an event card does not have the fast keyword, it may only be played from a player's hand by performing the play action. Okay, so the event dodge, for example, I would actually play it from my hand. I wouldn't play it ahead of time to have it out. I would play it when it says, when the trigger happens. And then it says, anytime a player plays an event card, its costs are paid, its effects are resolved. The card is placed in the owner's discard pile after those effects are resolved. Okay, so they do get discarded. Okay, so next I drew my card. I have to gain a resource, and now I have to go down to 8. So I'm at 2, 4, 6, 8. So I am 1 over. So I think I'm going to get rid of, what do I have a lot of? I think I'm going to get rid of the guard dog. Or actually first aid. I'm going to get rid of first aid. I don't really have very much issues going on with me, so, and I feel like I've picked up a lot of stuff that have willpower, so I don't necessarily need that one specifically. Okay, so moving on. So I now have 8 cards. Mythos phase. Place of Doom. We're at 6. We are 1 turn away. 1 more Mythos phase, and it gets progressed. Uh-oh. And I haven't done any on mine. Okay, encounter deck. Ancient Evils. It's a treachery card. Omen. Revelation. Place 1 doom. Oh no! Place 1 doom on the current agenda. This effect can cause the current agenda to advance. Dark forces stir against you. If you do not act quickly, a sinister plot will be fulfilled. Well, it definitely got fulfilled, because that brings us to 7. And this gets, I'll put those all back. The Rise of the Ghouls moves on. A feral beast, roughly humanoid with a canine cast and hooves for feet, tears through the ground in front of you. What? Below the floor, you can see vast tunnels beneath your house. Fiendish howling echoes from deep within the underground caverns. Shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. Wonderful. Discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a ghoul enemy is discarded. The lead investigator draws that enemy. Hold on. Wait, it gets discarded or it doesn't get discarded? This is not very clear. Shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. Easy peasy. Discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a ghoul enemy is discarded. The lead investigator draws that. Okay, so it's basically just go until you get the ghoul, and then... okay, and then we're on to agenda number 3. I will read that in a second. So I had put the other agenda in here, so let me take that one out first. Yeah. At least I haven't gone through that many encounter cards, so... This is not going so well. Alright, and do some randoms. Okay. And, you know, why was I shuffling that? I need to shuffle the entire thing. Oops. Okay. So now we go until we get a ghoul. Hey! Or, oh, maybe that's actually bad. I probably wanted something that was, or wanted to get rid of a whole bunch of stuff before the ghoul came out. All right, so he is officially attached to me. He's engaged. Wonderful. It's a ravenous ghoul again. Okay, Agenda 3A. They're getting out. You hear a crazed howl outside, and suddenly all the creatures turn their attention to that sound. They rush to escape the house, breaking down doors and clawing at everything in their way. Can they just break down the study door for me, please? I guess there is no door. This is the problem. Forced. At the end of the enemy phase, each unengaged ghoul enemy moves one location towards the parlor. I still haven't gotten to the frickin' parlor. Forced. At the end of the round, place one doom on this agenda for each ghoul enemy in the hallway or parlor. Well, luckily there aren't any there because they're not in play yet. This is horrible. I feel like I'm doing something wrong. Okay. Okay. It's all good. We're all good. Everything will be okay. Okay. So that was the mythos phase. It had been the encounter card that caused that all to happen. So we're now into the investigation phase. Okay, first things first, I'm going to pay 2 resources and get my flashlight back in, which has 3 supplies. So then I'm going to take 3 resources, put it on there. Okay, so we're going to use the 45 automatic. So I'm going to use 1, get an additional fight there. These 2 I'm saving for when we do the investigate. I'm going to use the guard dog for an additional, so that is, I was at 3 attack. I am now at 4, 5 attack. And I think I don't have any more resources, so I can't use hard knocks or physical training. Do I want to use another, do I want to commit another card? We said I was at 6, right? No, 3, 4, 5. I'm at 5, and I have to beat a 3, so I can get a -2. I should commit one more card. All right, we're going to commit the knife. Okay, so 3, 4, 5, 6. I can get a -3 or higher. Come on, something good, something good. Elder sign, come on, elder sign. Hey! It's totally the elder sign. Yes! Okay, so I get a +2 on that. So I definitely, and because part of that was with the gun, I do an extra damage. So he has 2 damage on him. I can get one. And I also get 2 resources if I succeed, which is perfect. That is so wonderful. Oh my gosh. Okay, so these get discarded. And I need to fight him again, though. Or evade. I can't... I'm gonna have to, this is, I'd really hoped to get both clues this round, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I'm gonna fight him again. I'm gonna spend another, I really don't want to use up my gun, all my ammo. I have limited ammo. But he needs to go or else he's gonna get an opportunity of attack unless I evade. So this is the other option, is I could evade. But then that also doesn't seem like a good idea. Right? Yeah, that seems like a bad idea. All right, we're attacking again. So I have the +1 from the gun. I now have some money, so I guess I'm gonna play the machete. It's not ideal. I kind of wanted to actually keep it and put it into play. I think I might try and keep it. So instead, I'm gonna pay off two resources and do both physical training and hard knocks, which is gonna get me an additional 2. So I'm gonna have +3 again. So once again, I'm at 6. So I need a -3 or below. Oh, that's not good, is it? I got the skull, which is -2. Okay, that's okay, because I was at 6. So -2 still gets me to 4, which is still a success. If you fail, which I did not, after this skill test, search the encounter deck and discard powerful or ghoul enemy, shuffle it, draw it, shuffle the encounter deck. Okay, but I did not fail. Thank goodness. Okay, so this is basically a -2. Oops. So that's not so bad. -2s are okay. Okay, wonderful, perfect. So he is dead then, because I beat him. And so he goes, unfortunately, still no victory points, though, or experience points for me. So that's unfortunate, but that's okay. So that was 2 actions. I still have a third. So I'm going to use my flashlight, use number 1, bring the shroud down to 2. This fog has nothing. My flashlight's so good. I swear it doesn't just actually reflect all the light at me and make it worse. Okay, so I'm going to commit my On the Lam card, which gets me +3. So now I'm at 6. I'm at 6, and I only need to get 2. So I don't think I'm going to commit this one yet. I think I'm going to save it and try for next time. Or do I try and make it 100%? What's the worst I can get is a -5, right? So if I were to get a -5, I think that's the worst I'll get. Yeah. I think -5 is the worst. So I need basically 7. So I think maybe I will commit that, right? Because right now I'm at 6. I'm at 3 from that card. And I have 3 already, so I'm at 6. So if I were to draw a -5, I would still be 1 short. So I'm going to commit this card as well. Get me up to 7. And because I need a clue, because I need to get out of this stupid study. Okay, so what do we get? Maybe I'll do the Elder Sign again. No. That gets me a -4, which is okay because I have 7. If there's a ghoul enemy at your location, there is not. Thankfully, I destroyed that ghoul. Okay. Oh my gosh. So first of all, we get rid of the stupid fog. After attached location is successfully investigated, discard the obscuring fog. So that is gone. And I get 1 of the clues. This is good. This is good. And that was 3 actions. These get discarded. So moving on. There are no enemies. Upkeep phase, reset actions, ready all exhausted cards, draw a card. Oh no, it's a weakness. Revelation, add haunted to your threat area. And I get -1 to each of my skills. It takes 2 actions for me to discard it. Yeah. That unfortunately is going to have to happen next turn. Oh, that's so horrible. That's so horrible. I am going to have to do that though. And then I also get 1 resource. Okay, so Doom token. Encounter deck. Treachery, rotting remains. Terror, revelation. Test 3 willpower. For each point you fail by, take 1 horror. Okay, so I have my -1 because I'm haunted, apparently. Not only am I terrified by rotting remains. Why are there rotting remains in my house? Whose rotting remains are these? So I have a -1 to that. Okay, so what can I do? Okay, I can use guts. This is perfect. Guts gives me 2. And if it's successful, I also get to draw a card, so that's perfect. So I have 2 to begin with. I'm going to spend a resource for my physical training, which gets me +1. And I'm going to do guts as well, commit guts. So that gets me 3, 5, and so I'm at 5. I have -1 from being haunted, so I'm actually at 4. And I have to beat 3. So I can only get a -1. Oh, I need to commit more. This is very unfortunate. I'm going to commit my dodge event as well. Okay, so that gets me 3. I'm just going to put this over here for now, just so we remember to include it. Okay. So, okay. I got a -3. Okay, so I think that works out okay, right? Because I had 2 -1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -3. Shit. That does not work out. I thought I had it. I thought I had it. Did I not have it? So let's count again. 2. I'll do the weakness last. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. -3 is 3. -1 is 2. I did not make it. Okay, so these are discarded. And I feel like I should have just taken the hit. Although at least I only failed by 1 point. For each point you fail by, take 1 horror. Okay, so at least I only take 1 horror. And this gets discarded. That's unfortunate. That's so unfortunate. Stupid haunted weakness. Ah, man. Okay. So now it's my turn. So I'm going to use 2 actions to get rid of this. I'm going to investigate. I'm going to try my luck. Right? So I have 3. I need 2. So I can get a -1 or I can get a 0. And maybe it will be absolutely wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. Okay, so yes, finally. Okay, I got the final clue. Okay, okay. You notice that the edges of your newly purchased rug are tattered and mud-stained. Finding this odd, you shift the furniture aside and pull back the rug. To your surprise, you see the door leading out of your study. You slowly turn the knob and the door swings open, revealing your hallway below. You jump through the doorway, landing on your feet on soft dirt. The door to the study slams shut behind you. The smell of burning wood fills the narrow hall, intermingled with the scent of rot and decay. So put into play the set aside hallway, cellar, attic, and parlor. Discard each enemy in the study. Place each investigator in the hallway. Remove the study from the game. Okay, so study is gone. And so we have the hallway, cellar. Okay, so all of them. So put into play the hallway. Oh, let's make sure we have the right side. Yeah, hallway. A moment of panic and disorientation strikes as you land upon the floor of the hallway. The world spins as if turned on its head. So that we'll put in the center. Then we have the attic, which is, it's the blue one. The smell of rotten meat assaults your nostrils as you approach the attic stairs. So we'll put that on top because that makes sense. Cellar. The stairs leading down to your cellar are slick and they glisten with a thin layer of ice. So we'll put that below. And the parlor. The entrance to the parlor is blocked by a darkly glowing, unfathomable barrier. You cannot move into the parlor. You're unsure what would happen if you tried to cross the threshold of the strange barrier, but based on its extreme heat, you sure as hell don't want to try. All right, so let's put this one over there. So the hallway leads to all three of those. And then I guess the cellar, each one goes back to the hallway. Okay. So I'm in the hallway, perfect. And okay, this one gets put away as well. The barrier. A glowing barrier blocks the path to your parlor. As you move towards it, intense heat forces you to back away. Picking up a handful of dirt, you toss it at the barrier and watch in horror as the dirt incinerates. Perhaps there's something in the cellar or attic that can help. Objective. When the round ends, investigators in the hallway may, as a group, spend the requisite number of clues to advance. Okay, so I have to be in the hallway to do this. And oh, you know what? I was going to say I haven't actually done this. Oops. I'll maybe do that before the starting my next turn. Okay, so I need 3 clues to advance. So the Frozen in Fear one, I should have been testing intellect. Or no, sorry, not intellect, willpower to succeed. If you succeed, discard Frozen in Fear. I'm not quite sure when I put that one into play. Oh, and I needed to have done it. The first time you perform... Oh, shoot. Okay, so I didn't play that correctly. I needed to have... Okay. So I've been playing wrong, apparently. Oops. And forgetting about this card. So I was supposed to, anytime I performed a fight, I was supposed to count it as an additional action, which I did not do correctly. But nor did I do any tests to get rid of it. So I guess we'll just only really bring it into play now. That was an oops on my part. I could have gotten rid of it way sooner, and it could have also cost me more actions. So that was not played correctly. But that's okay. We'll move on from that. So I'm trying to think what just happened. Oh, right. I had gotten the clues to be able to move on. Okay, perfect. So I need to get 3 more clues to advance the act. And I'm going to have to be in the hallway when I do that, which made me think about moving, which made me think about this Frozen in Fear one. Okay, so my investigation phase is over. The enemy phase, there are no enemies on the board. Upkeep, reset actions, ready exhausted cards. Each investigator draws a card. The Beat Cup, sweet. And gets a resource. Draws down to 8 cards. And Mythos phase, pays 1 Doom on the agenda. Alright, so that's the second one down, and their cap is 10. So we have 8 more rounds to make this work. Draw from the encounter deck. treachery, dissonant voices, terror. Put dissonant voices into play in your threat area. You cannot play assets or events. Wonderful. Forced. At the end of the round, discard it. Okay, perfect. So at least it only lasts one round. I can still commit cards, though. Okay, so first things first, let's flip over the hallway as we are now in it. So there are no clues at this location, but it has a shroud of 1. I don't understand that. The walls of your house are splattered with mud, and your hardwood floor is gone, replaced with a dirt path. Not quite sure why it has a shroud value of 1 if there are no clues, right? So, because what am I investigating that it would have a shroud value to overcome? So I'm not sure if I'm missing something there. Okay, so first things first then, I'm going to move. So I have to, for Frozen in Fear, it's going to cost me 2 actions to move. So I'm going to move up to, let's go to the cellar first. Actually, no, let's go to the attic first. The attic seems safer, seeing as they're coming from the ground. So the smell of rotten meat assaults your nostrils as you approach the attic stairs. Well, that's not great. And I flip it over to reveal it has 2 clues. A shroud of 1. And after I enter the attic, I take 1 horror. So that just happened. So I take a horror. I'm now at 3 horror. I probably need that first aid at this point. I only have a max of 6, so I can get 3 more, and then I'm a goner. At least the shroud location is really low, being only 1. Okay, so I think I'm going to, if I use the flashlight and my shroud gets -2 for that location, does that give me a +1? This is what I want to know. Probably not. It probably just brings it down to 0. And that would get me, I can't use assets though this turn. I start at 3. So that would get me a 3 though. I mean, that's better than nothing, right? Or I guess technically the -1 because that's what I have to meet. So I think because I can't actually use any assets or anything, I'm just going to draw a card for my 3rd action, which is Guts. And I'm going to spend my 1 resource on my hospital debts as well. Okay, so that's the end of my turn. Before I move on, I'm going to, this only goes away at the end of the round. Versus Frozen in Fear is at the end of your turn, test 3 willpower. Luckily, I just drew Guts, so that's actually going to be helpful for me. So I have to beat 3. I start with 2, so that's already not great, but I can use Guts, commit Guts, which brings me to 4. Still not great, but let's see if I can get rid of the Frozen in Fear issue that's happening right now. All right. Oh, perfect. So that's a 0 with yellow threads. Okay, so Guts. Oh, and Guts has, if this test is successful, I draw a card. So that gets discarded, but at least I get to draw a card as well. Ooh, and that's going to be a very good one. That one is Evidence, which if I play it as an event, I can discover a clue at my location after defeating an enemy, or I can commit it and it would give me 2, which is super, super good. Okay, so Frozen in Fear goes away. Thankfully, that was a horrible card. All right, next. I'm going to move, just in case this one comes up again, these two out to there. Okay, so we move on. Enemy phase, there are no enemies. Upkeep phase, ready. Reset actions, ready exhausted cards. Draw a card, gain a resource. Who, excuse me. Leo DeLuca, the Louisiana Lion. I was born in Mississippi. Louisiana just sounded better. So he's an ally asset, where you may take an additional action during your turn. That's huge. Oh my gosh. Okay.